Hello everybody, Roberto here for another exciting video. This is the first video of a series about arranging classic jazz standards for guitar. Something that several of you have asked me the last few months. There are several reasons for modifying the original arrangement. First of all, jazz standards are in most cases written for other instruments, and by modifying the harmony we can make it more guitar friendly. Also, we may want to give a different feel to a classic song, maybe it bluesy or Latin or bossa nova, waltz, whatever, and so on. All my arrangements are chord melody for solo guitar, so the harmony and the melody must be linked and performed by a single instrument. In most cases, my starting point will be the chords of the song as they appear in most fake books. Fake books or real books is the same thing. I have already published a chord melody performance of this standard and also a tutorial of a simplified arrangement. Please refer to these two videos to watch the entire arrangement and for a note-for-note description. I will put a link at the end of this video. The song is 32 bars long and the form is A-A-B-A. In the real book, the key is E flat, but I have chosen to use the key of D, more suitable for guitar. Let's have a look at my arrangement of the first A played at a slow tempo. These are the first 4 bars of the fake book transposed to the key of D. As we advance, I will progressively show the chords of my arrangement. I start up with a D over A triad. It's easy to finger, and this has a nice round sound. And then I play an F sharp minor 7, which is the first chord of a 2-5-1 sequence, F sharp, B, and E. The next chord is the original arrangement for F diminished. F is at 5 semitones away from B, so at a flat 5 interval. So in this case, we can apply a tritone substitution, also known as a flat 5 sub, where the F diminished function as a B, the 5th chord of our sequence. Please note that a diminished chord repeats itself every 3 semitones. In other words, F diminished can also be named G sharp diminished, B diminished, or D diminished. If we analyze the individual notes forming this chord, they are indeed F, A flat, B, and D, and each of them can be the root. Our 2-5-1 sequence resolves nicely on an E minor 7, the first chord of the next bar. In the second bar, after the E minor 7, in the fake book, 4 melody notes are played around an A7 chord. I have chosen to harmonize these notes as part of a chord, A13, E7, Sus4, and A7, each chord containing the melody note in the B string, the highest of the chord. We are simply adding a 7-1 movement of the original progression from E to A. In the third bar, we resolve to a D major. We then arpeggiate a D major triad in a different position before playing a D augmented. In the real book, this chord is noted as F sharp augmented. And that is not really wrong, because augmented triads are symmetric chords and repeat every 4 semitones, or every major third. Therefore, F sharp augmented has the same notes as D augmented. I prefer to consider this chord as a D augmented because it moves, in this case, to a G major, creating a 5-to-1 movement. In the fourth bar, after the G major, I harmonized the melody notes in the sixths. And so this sequence of notes underlines a C sharp 7 flat 9, thus creating another 5-1 movement with the F sharp minor 7 at the beginning of the next bar. The next two bars, 5 and 6, contain a 3-6-2-5-1 starting with a F sharp minor 7 and ending with a D major 7, the first chord of the 7th bar. The sequence is therefore a series of 4-5-1 movements, F sharp, B minor, E minor, A7, ending with D major. Compared to the real book, we have replaced the first chord, a D major triad, with its major third F sharp, a direct diatonic substitution. I have analyzed in depth all the most common substitution in jazz in a dedicated video that you can click on this link to watch it if you like, as it explains in depth most of the techniques that we have employed here. The last two bars of the A section contain a turnaround leading to the next A section. I have once again replaced the F sharp 7 of the real book with D major 7. The following chords are B7 flat 9, E minor 9, A7, forming a 6-2-5-1 movement ending with the first chord of the next A, D. The move from D major 7 to B7 is possible because D is the relative minor of B. So we can then use B7 instead of B minor, as a dominant 2 minor can always be substituted by dominant 7th. The second A is exactly the same as the first one for the first 6 bars. And in bar 7, I play a D over A major, a triad, followed in bar 8 by a C minor 7 and F7 resolving to B flat major 7 in the first bar of the B section, forming a 2-5-1 sequence. In the real book, the first bar of the B section is a B flat major 7, which is followed by a G7 in the second bar. After the first chord, I play a descending chromatic line leading to another B flat major 7, and then 2 more different shapes of the same chord, which is, of course, B flat major 7. In the next 2 bars, I play a C minor 11th, going to B7 and back to C minor 7. B7 is the flat 5 of F, so in this case it is equivalent to a 5-1 descent from F to C. The C minor 7th leads to a 2-5-1 sequence, C minor 7, F7 resolving to B flat major 7 at the beginning of bar 5. In other words, in this measure, I am clearly illustrating the use of a flat 5 substitution on a 2-5-1 sequence, which becomes a 2-2 flat 1, as I am playing in succession the equivalent of 2 different 5-1 using B as a substitute for F. Now, bar 5 and 6 are the same as bar 1 and 2. The 3 melody notes of bar 6 imply an A7, even though we do not play it, which is the beginning of the modulation to return to the mother key of D. In the last 2 bars, I play a 1-6-2-5 sequence resolving to D major at the beginning of the last A. The sequence is D major 7, B7, E minor 11, A13, and D major. The third A section is the same as the previous 2, with the exception of the ending in the last 2 bars. In bar 7, we replace D major, as in the real book, with its relative minor, which is B minor. We then create a 6-2-5-1 sequence leading to the final D6-9. This sequence would normally be B-E-A-D, but I have chosen to replace the 5 chord, A, with its flat 5 substitution E flat. Therefore, the sequence can also be seen as a 6-2 flat 2-1, creating a chromatic descending line. Click on this link to watch my videos about the chord substitutions, which explains in depth, like I said, most of the topics of this arrangement. Or in this other link to watch my tutorial and my performance of Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. Do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you find it interesting and if you like it. So after this is the usual keep rocking, keep swinging, keep playing. We'll see you next time.